Hi Taurus, Sun, Moon and Rising, welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to your eclipse reading. This total lunar eclipse is taking place in your zodiac, so it's going to be major. It will bring about pivotal changes that will play out for the coming 6 months. So basically this reading is about within 6 months, what are the major changes that are taking place for your zodiac sign. So the first card we have here is the Ace of Cups, which is a lovely beginning because it talks about unconditional love. It is undying passion, love, and sense of fulfillment for something. It is also creative expression and feeling blissful and peaceful with where you are. It's also the card for self-love and self-worth as well, enhancing. It also connects with the spiritual love, so you can feel the universal love and guidance very strongly. Then we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is again about groundedness, being very practical. It's an earth sign, so that connects exactly with yours. Self-care, self-worth, heightening your own value, your worth, increasing your income as a result of that, doing something you enjoy, feeling at home, making yourself at home. All of these topics are coming around here. It's so gorgeous, and you can see that the leaves are falling. It's autumn time or fall, and that would be exactly when we were recording this. So that's very interesting synchronicity. It's like you're finding the value in letting things go. You're able to surrender, and through that you're finding and breathing new life. If you take care of yourself, you're able to take care of others, and I feel you're prioritizing that a lot. Excellent. Then we have the Child of Cups or the Page of Cups, which is a very dreamy quality. It's very transcendental as well and peace, bliss oriented. It is also very youthful and very creative. It has an open heart and open mind. It looks up and it's ready to be full of wonder. Okay, that's what it is looking up for. Like there's this whole wide world that it is looking at, and it's so curious to get into it, but it's not yet going out there and exploring. So there is a newness to this feeling here. Also, Ace is the first of the cup suit, so it can be a new connection that is coming through that gives you a very hopeful vibe, and you're just connecting and having fun and seeing where that goes. You're well paced and very balanced in your method. No rushing ahead of ourselves. Although the warning over here is that in terms of relationships, there can be a bit of a naivete at this time. But I mean, come on, if this is the very new stages, then go right ahead. Go be all springy and all of that. Okay, gorgeous. Then we have the Oracle card, Your Soul Shines. That's absolutely wonderful. This eclipse being in your zodiac. Your first house is about the way you present yourself, the way you dress yourself, the way you perceive the entire world. And when the first house changes, everything else changes, and you and Scorpio are feeling this eclipse and the previous one the most. So that's very interesting. You are flourishing to a whole other level. You're upgrading, you're allowing your light to shine, you're showcasing your talents, and you're not shy about any of that. You're not keeping it very private anymore. You're looking out and you're ready to explore, kind of radiate all of the shine that you already have. I'm hearing you are the light, be the light, radiate your light. Okay. Then we have, what's your honest truth? It's about being more, we already saw that when we talk about your soul shines, it's basically saying that your true nature is shining and you're expressing this very true nature. You're authentic with yourself and to the world about yourself as well. And you, in return of that, you're also accepting only truth from others. You don't want the pleasant coating of everything of, we'll see where this goes. And when I said that you're very open to what happens, you are kind of moving with the tides and moving with the moment, but at the same time you're not losing focus on what you actually want to attract. You're not being washed away by your emotions, you're not controlled by it, you're very aware of it, and you are being open by choice. Therefore you can draw boundaries whenever that is needed as well, right? So you're expecting a level of authenticity from the people that you're interacting with, and those who are not willing to be authentic, they don't need to remain in the same vibe that you are in, right? I feel that sort of I need to know that I'm surrounded by people that I trust and surrounded by situations that I trust. And if I cannot trust something, either it needs to be modified according to my liking or it needs to be shed. It's sort of, let's decide this way or that way. We're not putting both feet on either side of the door or something. What is true is true. Okay. Great. Then we have connect. So there definitely can be new people that you're connecting with. You perhaps have let go of certain old connections or relationship patterns, and now you're kind of opening yourself up to receive. And kind of the Page of Cups also talks about manifesting, usually something related with creativity or with love and relationships. But something that is just fulfilling for you, basically. So you're connecting and synchronizing yourself to your dreams, something that you have been desiring for a long time, to also other people, if that's what you're looking for. It can also be talking about making new friends and new connections wherever you're going. The Queen of Pentacles can talk about moving home or making a home. So if you are building your home and you're kind of moving in that direction, then you would encounter different neighbors and you're really resonating with the people who are in your community. Something like that. There are various scenarios that this can play out, but basically you're merging water and earth, like we see with the tarot, and also is showing in the color scheme here. You're combining your self-confidence, but you're going with the flow. You're not being absolutely rigid and you're still strong, right? There is a nice balancing effect that is happening here for you guys with this eclipse. Then we have story. I love this imagery because you can see that this is sort of a cliff and you see the forest, but just this part over here you can see some roots that are going downward, and then these birds are taking flight from there. So basically it is a very great height and you have a huge surrounding, a huge vision, and then you take flight towards those dreams. There's so much out there that we want to explore. There are so many endings to a story. There are so many ways that a story develops. So what is the tale you're trying to tell with your life? What is the meaning? There is kind of a new overhaul of yourself, your identification, right? So of course, why would a change happen if everything is great and dandy? There are certain parts that want to up-level themselves and are kind of doing that through your experiences. It can be developing some qualities. Perhaps you've taken on some handicrafts and it's time to paint a story with that and take flight with it, take it to the next level, connect with different people, try to sell it, or kind of spread the word, or kind of showcase it in an exhibition or something like that, showcasing basically. Gorgeous. Then we have play. Yeah, this is that childlike energy with the Page of Cups and Ace of Cups. Have fun, have a nice time, keep it light, just enjoy the process, and everything else will kind of fall into play. And I see come into the space, sorry. I just read this again, but I see two people here as well. So it can be that you're connecting with someone who is also very lighthearted and childlike, or their presence kind of ignites that part of you. You don't mind being I would not say vulnerable specifically, but it's you don't have a problem being your inner child because you feel very safe with them, or you feel like they would understand what you're going through because they are also like that. There is a sort of kinship and support because you're not weakened by your inner child, you're strengthened by it. And when you meet someone who also is on that same level, you can sort of work through it together. For example, there are some people who conceptualize their next art or craft through Legos, right? It's something that we used to play with when we were kids, and when we grew up, it's like, oh, who plays with toys anymore? But you're not using that for the same purpose, and even if you do, there is a different mindset that has already evolved, so you won't see that same game in the same way. Right, you're bound to look at it in a different perspective, especially when there is another person around as well. So I feel like turning play into work and work into play because of someone else's presence, the team you're surrounded by, the community that is with you, the colors and the possibilities that are there for you. You're very inspired by that, so you're opening yourself up to all the different things that are possible. Okay, I don't think you're putting a lot of boundaries at this time. towards the opportunities that can come through. Okay, you're very clear about what you're trying to create, or what type of life you want to be leading, but you're not getting swept up by that and boxing everything in. You're leaving a healthy amount of flow in there. So that's lovely. Okay, then we have the presence of love will always cast out fear. Yes, so doing something out of a place of fulfillment, joy, and love will kind of dispel fear, because you're not even thinking about that anymore. Quite literally, the sentence is kind of literal, right? Like, we're not thinking about the fear, we're just doing something that we enjoy, and we continue doing it because we're still enjoying it. That's it. That's when you find a lot of happiness, you vibe at a different level, and anything that you say and do from that mindset is going to be more in a positive trajectory. Even the critical thinking that comes around at that time, you're more likely to take it as, this needs to be improved, instead of, oh, this sucks and that is bad and that is totally wrong, right? It's very different just because our mindset at this time is different. So here you're adopting a different viewpoint and perspective into approaching your world. Rich times for you. Then we have the more energy and intention I bring to my faith, the more fearless and free I am. So Taurus is a fixed earth sign, which is the most stable out of every zodiac, right? And with stability also comes stubbornness. It is very different when it is what, depending on the purpose, depending on the moderation quantity and all of that, it's basically up to the individual and also the direction we are applying that to. But it is definitely not about flow and let's see what happens. It's also not about immediate action. You need to sit with it for a moment and think about it, think about the purpose and the relevance, the practical methods, etc., etc. There are many other different parameters that earth signs take into account compared to the other elements or other modalities. So over here is opening up that flexibility, opening up your intuition. Instead of relying on something that is fully tangible and grounded, you're also taking into account the higher purpose of something. So your intuition is active and your earth body is active, which means there is complete flow between your physical self and your spiritual self. You're able to understand and process your emotions and where they come from. You're able to understand the motivation of these emotions existing, and you're able to flow with them actively. You're keeping faith in where you are headed because you feel like you're in a natural rhythm at this time. The Ace of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles also talk about that, respecting the natural rhythm and the natural flow as it is, and respecting our own position in this flow as a humble part who is equally potent, even if it is not as massive, right? So this enforces a level of faith in yourself and your power to create from a place of joy, regardless of what you're trying to create, okay? And because of this, you're fearless, and you are really, really free. You're liberating yourself. And in this eclipse here, we have Saturn in Aquarius. I talk about this in my November month ahead, so if you want, you can check that out as well. It will cover all the other aspects apart from the eclipse too. So it would be nice to have an overview. But Saturn is the planet of restrictions and limitations, and in Aquarius, it is wanting to bring us freedom, but not reckless. It's not about just bursting forward without any game plan. Aquarius, if Uranus was there, it might just say what it wants, be very blunt and be very sharp, right? But with Saturn there, it's like, okay, we're gonna calm down and move like in a very measured pace. We don't want to overwhelm ourselves. We don't want to take on more tasks than we can handle, etc. So we will respect our space, create some boundaries. We'll have reasonable freedom that is very fulfilling for us and does not damage anything external to us, something like that. And any karmas that includes the karma that we inflict upon ourselves that stops us from liberation is also being worked through from this eclipse cycle here. Okay, let's see our Astro dice. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. This eclipse. 6th house, Moon in Scorpio. Okay, so some of you had the Moon in Scorpio. This can also be pointing towards your routines, your lifestyles, habits, diet, exercise, all of these things. You might be making some shifts in that direction as well. As a result of this perspective shift, your emotional body and your intuition is very heightened. You are very investigative as well. Like I said, you get this emotion and you're really thinking about it. You know, you have ideas, but you're not going to run through with each and every one of them, right? It's not possible to do 10 ideas at once. Perhaps one by one we're going to go at it. But you're kind of digging to identify what is so resonant for you. Which way should you move? What direction is it that is calling you? You're looking for something that deeply matches your vibe. And Scorpio, right opposite yours, is again, you can be talking about meeting someone that you connect with very emotionally. And this can be in the workplace or gym or somewhere that you exercise, yoga as well as possible. If you have pets, then perhaps when you're taking to groom your pet, then you might encounter someone. It can be quite random and unexpected because Uranus is part of this eclipse here, and Scorpio being the 7th house, it is going to be a one-on-one connection. It's not really a group setting or a formal setting as such. Okay, even if it's from the workplace, you might meet at the cafeteria, which is a less formal setting, for example. Okay. What else? Yeah, and again, what I was saying earlier is if you're not going to be authentic, if you're going to be shady or evasive about things and sabotage and manipulate, then I don't want this in my surroundings. You know, I'm happy to let you go. It's sort of that vibe I'm getting here. Okay, I think, let me see if there are some synchronicities. We have 20, 34, 7, 2, 1. Okay, I don't see any number patterns here. Let me get you some guidance. So for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising, some guidance for them for this eclipse here, please. We have use your discernment and fortitude to achieve your goals and find a new rhythm. Yeah, we talked about that natural rhythm, and you are using that discernment. You're making decisions and drawing lines about where you want to go, where you don't want to go. You're thinking about it. You're not just making rash choices. Okay, so that's your guidance as well. Very good to know that you're already aligning in that direction. That's what I have for you, Taurus. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, I'm happy to help you via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Perhaps check out the other eclipse videos. The Scorpio one that happened on 25th October, already made the zodiac specific video for that, and also the month of November reading. Okay, I will see you some other time. Take care. Bye.